just to kind of show the rollouts and whatnot.
Alright.
Get off of Sandman. So Bagel, yay. This is Bagel, the way you're gonna roll out. So this will be, both your soldiers will just kind of do a roamer rollout. They don't need to do like the whole bomb and then pickaxe thing, just
Right.
because here to the mid is like super close. So there's no reason to like have to run and worry about all that extra stuff. So what you can do is you're gonna buff your demo twice. So buff your demo. You're gonna do this little jump to here, buff them again. Then maybe I'll start with the. Do I not respawn? That's mine. So demo rollout will be a sticky here or here or here or wherever really. It's not super pressing. The idea is you jump once to here, and you just do one more jump to grab this pack, and you'll start charging your stick all the way to their concrete right about there.
Okay.
At about the same time that you're going to be rolling out there. So nothing too crazy as for demo. Soldiers. So for pocket soldier, it's again nothing kind of crazy. You're going to do your jump. You'll be buffed at this point, so you won't even need the pack. And if you're playing pocket, you're rolling out into this left side here. So this will be your pocket soldiers playground, and then over here will be kind of your roamers playground. And then for the roamer rollouts, let's just go back. You can do kind of similar thing. You'll do a rocket jump here, and then you can do the third rocket just to kind of jump down here. And then you kind of have two packs to play around with, and you're going to be playing over here as roamer, like up here and stuff like that. But I'll get into that a little bit later. Both your scouts and your medic are going to run essentially just right out this way, same way as like your demo and pocket soldier. It's going to run around here. Make sure you're getting scout speed and all that.
Yep.
And you'll be here for the mid. So for the mid, the way Bagel works is it's a very kind of claustrophobic small point, but it caps really fast. You may have noticed that when you played before. So what a lot of teams like to do is they should always be like trying to edge this cap, unless they're at like huge like this head. So for some mid fights, depending on kind of what your team wants to go for, if you want to maybe send a soldier behind or just kind of play a little bit more spammy and like try to edge the cap, you have a few options kind of what to go for. One thing real nice, I'm just going to start with like pocket soldier, pocket scout. So pocket soldier usually going to be playing in this house. You get really good spam to their side of point. Downside is you kind of have to be careful of playing super aggressive, or else a soldier or something is just going to bomb and like land on you here. Or a scout's just going to like hunt you down from like right over here and just jump up here and murder you, so that's not nice. So yeah, you definitely got to keep kind of your space with the spam. Another thing is like you don't really want to be shooting all your rockets here, because if you shoot all 4 rockets, now you're extremely kind of vulnerable to like a soldier that might be playing. Because keep in mind their roamer's going to be like mirroring what you guys are doing. If they're playing kind of the most like generic way, which 99% of teams will be, they're going to have a soldier kind of playing around here, like playing up on here, trying to spam, backing out when they need health to here. So if you're spamming all your rockets, all they have to do is kind of bomb you and you're kind of caught with your pants down. So just keep in mind of how many rockets you're kind of shooting. I like to shoot like 1 or 2. You can put good spam into the stairs. You get really nice splash here for all the players that are trying to edge the cap. And then for your pocket scout, again, you kind of keep an eye on like your soldier here. Like usually your soldier should be in a position that if 2 people are walking from this left area, you can at least do good damage into them and then like back out and have your pocket scout or flank scout even kind of rotate and help you here. So your pocket scout's usually going to be playing like around point here, and they can jump around like up here and whatnot. Generally, like playing on height like this is going to get you killed like super fast. So I would recommend playing height when they're down maybe a demo. Then you can kind of play height for free. But if they're up a demo, it just takes like 2 stickies that are really easy to aim on point there to just kind of get nuked. So kind of edging the cap like this, you can hug this point really close and kind of catch a lot of people, um, like demos and stuff that are overextending on one of the two sides. So keep an eye on your pocket soldier as pocket scout, as well as bombers and stuff where um, you can start the mid. So I guess I should have started with this, but generally how I like to start the mid as a pocket scout is I'll kind of like jump up here, and you can do this pretty easily by just jumping up here or and then up there, or if you have the winger, you can just jump up here, and then here you get really nice like vision, kind of like a clear cut if you guys played clear cut yet, and uh, where you're standing on like kind of the back shed, you get really good vision on the mid, to see like, okay, there's a soldier like who's going to be high bombing off of here or something. So it's something I can like jump into or at least know to kind of guide my team. Like, okay, I see that they have their demo med or playing like passive in their valley area. So maybe we can send our soldier, our roamer, through here and take space on the right side. So you kind of get good vision with Pocket Scout, and if your Pocket Scout's going to be main calling, you kind of have good eyes as to what your team and their team is both doing. So I like to start off my mids here, and then once you kind of start taking space, that's when you want to be playing over here, kind of rotating around your beam and such like that. Flank Scout is going to be playing kind of a pseudo Pocket Scout. For Flank Scout, you really want to be like rotating between all three. So whether that's like playing with the beam, playing with your Pocket Soldier, or communicating and working with your roamer here. So a really good thing to do with your Flank Scout here is, like I was saying before, if you're going to coordinate like your roamer, just to kind of bomb in here and try to fight this soldier, just bombing in and taking a 1v1 is like not the way to do it. You definitely want to try to have at least some degree of communication with like maybe a flank scout who's sitting like right over here, and as you're getting ready to bomb, the flank scout's gonna walk across that roof and just run into here, and they're gonna fight the scout with you. So, or the soldier, sorry. So now you're trying to catch the soldier who might be overextended, shooting this point. Now he's looking at the scout, and your soldier's nuking him. So that kind of communication is gonna go a long way with taking these houses. And if you have these houses, it just makes edging the point even easier because you don't have to worry about like getting spammed from both sides. So that would be some classic coordination for the right house. For your roamer, there's a few bombs that you should know and maybe practice a little bit. One is just bombing through here. It's nice to just kind of get behind. You get a pack. If they're playing passive here, you can use it kind of as a sack, where you're just bombing into them like that. Or if they're aggressive on point, you'll be behind, like I was saying. And then you can potentially sack from main or just rotate back out here and just play some spam or whatnot, whatever your team kind of needs. Another sack to kind of keep in mind is you can sack rocket jump off here. And this can be for both your soldiers, and you can do kind of the same thing where you land more on them. So it's going to be less of going behind and more kind of landing on them. And you can do a similar thing from over here. That was not the best example, but kind of bombing off the left side, but a little bit more difficult. So maybe quit the original if you're not a expert jumper, like I am not. So yeah, flank scout, pocket scout, medic. So your medic is going to be playing a little bit of a long beam here. It's important not to be too far away from your pocket scout, or at least have your pocket scout or flank scout rather, one person kind of playing back with you, so that if you're playing here, say you're hitting a surf or something, you're not just surfing into more rockets and away from your team. That way, if you have a flank scout or something behind you, or a pocket scout even, they can kind of shoot this bomber, and then if you're surfing, now your scout can just kind of jump in and should be able to finish them off from there. When you're aggressing point, really important that you're not standing on point when kind of their team is funneling in, or your team is kind of funneling in, because this is kind of the death zone. The point, you're going to eat a lot of spam if you're ever playing on point. So as medic, you really want to focus on making sure your team's kind of like grouped up and playing on your side here. Unless you know you have add, and I'll kind of go into a nice little thing you can do with add in a moment here. But that's kind of how like different classes would be playing on the mid fight. And again, there's like definitely flexibility for different plays. Like you can have your soldier kind of play passive here. Maybe you want to do a double bomb and just kind of aggress. There's definitely flexibility with that. Or if you say like, okay, they're literally putting one soldier in this right side. Let's just like 2v1 this soldier in the right side with my flank scout and my roamer. Get a free pick, and then we'll walk off that. There's a lot of versatility you can kind of do with this, and then there's going to be a lot of spam and shit, so things are going to go sideways all the time. So just kind of being adaptable and realizing what players you have is going to be really important. If you go down your pocket soldier, definitely you can consider having your flank just kind of sit back here really passive. That way you're not getting like kind of like I was saying earlier, just kind of bomb pass here. And then, yeah, if your pocket scout dies, your flank scout's going to kind of take over. If your demo's dying, usually at that point you should back out or maybe send a sack or something. Same thing with your med. Like, if your med's dying, you really got to like communicate, like, okay, we're all sacking in at time and we're all trying to land on the medic. Get the medic so the Ubers won't be that bad for one team or another. Okay, any questions for like the mid fights?
What is demo doing?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one class I play. Yeah. So like I said, demo's gonna be rolling out here.
Yep.
Really important on the mid fight. So you're trying to trap out one side for your team. So similar to almost Gully Wash mids, where you're trapping out one side and then playing spam on another. Just by like putting like 4 or 5 stickies on this side, it makes it almost impossible for a scout to like push from the side. And if they're just gonna stand here clearing it, they're gonna eat spam from your soldiers and whatnot. So by trapping off like one side, it makes it so they kind of have to funnel into this left side, and then you're gonna get a lot of damage with your pipe spam from here. It's also gonna give your pocket scout big room, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the right side. You can definitely trap the left side as well if you feel more comfortable here. I just find since the soldier's playing here, like their soldier, if you're playing close here, you're gonna need a lot more to spam than if you're playing like on the far left side. So things to keep in mind if you have this house or not, which side to kind of walk on and which side's a little bit more safe. Important as demo that you're not getting overly aggressive. Like I'd say playing like over here is too aggressive. Because their scouts should just be playing like somewhere around here, and if they see you on this right side, they're just gonna hug this and like double meat at you, and then you'll cry. Another really cool thing about demo, actually I'm gonna go demo for this just to kind of explain it. So, like I was saying, you do the rollout just something like this, and then get your cheats. So for demo, you have this like kind of nice little spam angle where you're doing stuff like this. And you can put spam into like their side of point just by playing on your side. So you don't necessarily have to walk all the way here just to spam here. You can play a lot more safer and just like start spamming their side from here. And this is definitely like an angle you'll kind of come to learn. Because a lot of scouts and stuff will start edging the cap by playing like right around here. That way they're going to eat the least amount of spam from a demo who's like playing and trapping off this side. Because like, yeah, from here, like a scout doesn't even take damage from either side. So trying to work on, pressuring a little bit like this. You can like sync your stickies as well. So have your stickies like land, and then you can dep both your stickies at the same time. You'll definitely like find a lot of damage and kills that way. So it's a really good map to practice your stickies. So if we were having issues with that, then this is a good test of fate. Yeah, that's generally demo for the mid fights. This some pretty good trap spots that I will kind of I guess I can show you now. So I mean, just trapping like this is like really solid because a lot of teams will be like playing over here, so it's kind of hidden. So if they're not, you're really punishing them for not like checking sticks and clearing sticks. So just by like trapping this, and then another good one is like right here. Like kind of like this side's equivalent where you're kind of sitting in the corner, and a lot of demos and scouts and stuff will play on this side and just start like spamming you. So the nice thing is you can kind of trap that from wherever. Like you don't need to be all the way on your side of point or their side of point just to trap it. Alternatively, like you can definitely like trap like here, and just kind of like these sides a point where you know they are just gonna like try to overchase into you, um, or even like just trapping like something like this. It's just kind of punishing them for like over peaking and stuff like that. This would be kind of more in a refight. If you guys are like playing passive, like kind of getting ready to give it up, obviously you wouldn't really be trapping this on a mid fight because nobody's just gonna kind of walk cross point. Um, Trapping like height over here is really good as well, because a lot of people just kind of land on it, like straight around this corner and land on it, and then you just kind of kill them. Alternatively, like you can get kind of creative with your traps, like maybe throw a trap here if you find they're bombing your left house a lot. Um, Before you're like about to back out. Obviously, you have like if you're wiping them and stuff, you can trap pretty aggressive. That being said, like going down a few players, you have all sorts of kind of nooks and crannies that you can be trapping. Um, there's a bunch of bushes here, here. This is a really good trap as well. Trapping on this side. So I'm showing this all so you guys can know where common trap spots are as well, so you guys can be clearing those spots as well for when you're taking maybe an ad push and stuff like that. So good as scouts to know kind of the common trap spots as well. Because yeah, there's gonna be traps everywhere. If you guys are like wiping, for example, no demo's just gonna sit like really passive and just kind of let you walk in. That being said, we'll go to uh, say we wipe their team or we kill like the majority of their players and their players are backing up to spawn and our whole team lives. I would recommend like have your whole team live before you kind of try this. There's a thing called forward holding. Not sure if I went over it with like product or any other map, but it's kind of a similar idea where you kind of lock out all the choke points and make it very difficult for them to kind of push through the choke points. And you waste a lot of time like that. And then kind of once they get through the choke points, that's when you just back out and you play normally. So rather than just like playing normally and let them have all that space, you're like playing over. Your soldiers will be playing here with your medic and pocket scout. Flank scout will be playing over here, and your demo will be playing on the left side. Some people like to switch it up, have demo over here, soldiers and combo over here. It's really I recommend having demo over here, soldiers over here, and your pocket scout here, flank scout kind of helping your demo and med tanking your soldiers. But feel free to kind of experiment if that's not working out for you. Demo just like trapping this left side should always be trapped. You can just like put a carpet. You don't need to have a crazy trap. And you're just kind of denying people from walking through here. You don't want to be playing like super alone over here or else you're just going to eat spam and be far away from your medic. I like to play like somewhere over here, like a healthy medium. Flank scout, you're gonna be there in case like a soldier or something bombs through, and you're gonna like misses the dead or kills one, and then another soldier bombs through. You're there to kind of help him in that regard. For your pocket soldier, you're gonna be playing like somewhere around here, and just playing like you playing aggressive lobby and just have your med like tank you here, and then your roamer kind of be kind of playing with him or kind of wrap here, and try to play and get good pressure in main as well. So the nice thing about this is you can actually like take an Uber in very easily. If you know you have ad and their medics playing like super aggressive here, kind of like calm that with your team, and you can take a soldier scout Uber here and just kind of wrap around the corner and like your soldier will like kind of bomb through. Your scouts are going to be playing here, and since it's just like splash heaven in here, that's going to have nowhere really to surf out to, and you guys can like do quite well and punish teams that are being a little bit too aggressive and not respecting your guys' ad. That being said, if they also have Uber and both teams use here, again, it's going to be really difficult for them to even take that Uber and walk through these doors. So you just kind of juggle them as soldier with this Uber, and then you can still be playing like this spam, and they'll potentially hold this even in the post Uber. So now neither teams will have Uber, and you can still kind of hold this if you guys have better positioning and stay up numbers. If their whole team goes big door, your roamer can also kind of rotate and start spamming into here as well. You don't necessarily just have to keep your roamer on this door if nothing's going there. That's kind of forward holding in a nutshell. Is that making any sense to you guys?
I'm good.
You guys are good? Okay. If there's
Yeah.
any more like questions about that, um, it can be a little bit like confusing, but it's definitely something you have to do like a full team. If your whole team isn't on the same page, then um, like the forward hold's just gonna be dog shit because like you're gonna have okay like we're forward holding here with our soldiers, but if our demo's just like trapping point or something, they're just gonna get out left side, and now your soldiers are gonna be overextended with your medic. So really important that everyone's kind of doing it together, and if one person kind of can't hold this door anymore, say they start flooding through, you need to calm that immediately. You break the forward hold, your demo's gonna bomb out, and you guys are immediately going back to playing your normal hold. Like, don't feel like you need to overhold. Like, if you go down 2 players, you're like, well, maybe we can still forward. Just back up. You can play the point normally at that
And I'm
point,
assuming,
and yeah,
I was gonna say, is normal hold just like what we do for the mid fight, or is it a little different?
yeah. So normal hold's like very similar to the mid fight. Um, Again, like I was saying earlier, it's really important that you're not ever holding with your medic on point. Um, I like to think you should either be committing on your concrete or their concrete. So that being
Okay.
like the forward hold or kind of the default hold. And here you just kind of play here. It's a lot better because you kind of can spot the bombs if they're coming, like a high bomb, as well as you guys can like take an ad Uber into them still. Like the map's so small that you can kind of like just like put a sticky down and like bomb into them if they're over committing. Like if their beam is playing here and you guys have like 80 Uber and they have like 20 or something, you know it's big ad like that. You guys can start calling that like if they're still aggressive, I want to take an ad Uber. Okay, we're taking ad Uber. Use. I'm just like trapping them out, and now they have really nowhere to go. Getting reflashed, and now you're burning even more time, right? So really good to keep that in mind. Um, yeah, so that would be kind of the default. Definitely similar to the mid fight for sure. Okay, so kind of the other end of the spectrum. If you guys are getting forward held, slash, you guys are at big disat. So say for example, instead of you wiping them, you're getting wiped.
Yes. This is
A good
the usual one.
Yeah, a good thing to kind of practice is what's called four mans. So what it's doing is, yeah, you're having your one scout sit and spawn here, and building with your medic. Really important that you're sitting in spawn and you're not like, you know, just in lobby or something, like building here and then a soldier bombs and another soldier bombs and all of a sudden everyone's dying and now you're all dead. Really important that you're like buffing your players like around here. You're saying a time, so usually the time's ticking down, right? So you'll say, okay, let's bomb at 45 seconds. Everyone's going to get their buff, kind of get into a position where they're getting ready to bomb for the medic, or maybe if someone does big damage to the demo. The idea is that everyone's kind of coordinating at the same time, and they can kind of get the bombs in there, and then you're usually it's your pocket scout. It's just going to be building here. It doesn't really matter which scout it is, as long as one scout's standing here building. If you feel like someone has like better DM or is like the salvage player, like send them, or you just you guys can figure out which scout's staying, and then your medics obviously there as well. So the idea is like you're trying to get them to force while building yourself. So since just kind of shoving your like whole team into them instead of doing a four man means they're still gonna have ad, right? So you're not really gonna accomplish much because either they're gonna use into you or you're gonna sit there like not doing anything for like the 45 seconds or whatever how long it will take for you guys to get Uber in that time. So really important that you're being kind of proactive when you don't have Uber ads. So you're always doing something. So I find the best way to sack is to try to clear traps through here if they're forward holding, and then kind of get your whole team like buffed up. You can send like your demo soldier through here, and then maybe a roamer like late through main with a scout like late through main or something, or even late through left side. The idea is like as long as you guys are dying within probably like a 5 second win like span, even if you get nothing, it's still better than doing nothing, right? So even if you're getting one like scout pick, that means you potentially have like one player advantage when you're refighting. So just getting anything in this is like super super clutch. Ideally for like a med force if they have Uber or like a big pick like a demo or like just huge damage in general. So I'd say like kind of set your goal as like the medic generally, unless stated otherwise. Like, okay, their meds is not going to have, they're at like 60 or something, so I want to sack for the demo, etc. Stuff like that. You can definitely communicate with each other and figure it out from there. But I said general rule of thumb: sacking for the medic's never a bad thing. So this is on the 4-man when you're at this ad. So important that you're not doing 4-mans when it's even Ubers or when you have ad. Only when you're at huge dis ad. Even if it's like small ad or small dis ad, you can kind of still kind of poke and dry fight without maybe the Ubers to try to get a force out or like play in a spot where, okay, we're going to get soon. Let's not waste the 25 seconds it takes to do a 4-man. Let's just waste like the 5 seconds it takes to get Uber. So stuff like that, kind of using your best like intuition to when it's a 4-man or not.
For like a 50 dis ad or greater.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say like anything big dis ad, you usually want to be 4-manning. So usually it's going to be like their medic lives off a mid fight and your medic dies. That's probably the most like common scenario for it to be a 4-man. But again, there will be times where like their medic lives through a fight and your medic dies or whatnot. So players can come up, then coordinate a 4-man, stuff like that. And again, if they're forwarding, generally their medic's going to be playing over here, so clearing the right side and then trying to bomb their med from there. If they're not forwarding, you can kind of bring your beam out a little bit, like probably to about here, buff players up, and then you really want to focus on making sure you guys are out, so you're not in the 4-man at all, but that way players can get buffed a little bit more, and then you guys can coordinate your sacks from here. So kind of similar, like demo bomb here. I showed you some of the other soldier bombs that you guys can do, and then the scout kind of running in the post to kind of clean up those damage players. So that'd be a typical 4-man like that. Yeah, I guess, is there any questions about sacking 4-mans, like the big ad or big dis ads?
I think I got a pretty good idea. 4-man, basically trying to get out big door. You're just going for a pick. If you can get the medic or demo, get the medic or demo.
Yeah.
But generally,
I would say like aim for the medic. If you get any pick, it's not bad, right? So
right.
Even if you're trading out, like that's still good.
Because we respawn faster, so we'll have numbers.
Even if you're not killing the medic, just getting the force out is what you want.
Right.
That way you guys are pushing with ads. So that way if they're forwarding and you guys have Uber, you guys can punish them super hard for playing that aggressive. Or if they're more passive, you should be able to just kind of edge the cap for free, maybe expecting a bomber or two.
Okay.
As they're backing out. And if they're heavily contesting you, that's when you're going to take like that ad Uber that I talked about earlier, where you can just bomb your demo. Okay. They don't have to be playing over here. Like literally be playing anywhere. They could probably pencil bomb and still just do just fine as long as you're trapping out kind of the exits.
Okay. And then if it's even, or if we have ag, we can just basically just use into them if they're doing an aggressive hold. If it's even, poke and prod, try to get damage play off of that.
Yeah.
If they're playing passive, we can take space and go from there. Expect bombs, all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What some teams like to do, so if you're having like trouble like finishing like edging the cap here, and both teams have, you can use on like a scout or something, get like them to force as well, and during that time is when you're gonna like send a soldier behind here, like so or something, and they'll be like in behind, and that's when they can kind of collapse in the post Uber. It's just gonna like create a little bit more chaos, maybe some more opportunities for your other soldiers, and it will still keep the Ubers even, and just neither team will have at that point. So
okay,
not a bad thing to do either. Yeah, I think that's like most things. Whenever you're spawning kind of for like a 4-man or stuff like that, or just like in general, you're like getting ready to push out of lobby. It's really important that at least someone is kind of clearing a few spots that I'll kind of show you. So one is like someone's clearing like right around here. A lot of players will just like kind of like to sit here. So it's like nobody generally rolls up your main. So people just kind of try to sit in main and then like play behind here and whatnot and wait for you guys to kind of walk through and then maybe try to do a sack or something like that. So important that you're kind of clearing these spots in lobby before you guys are like fully committing to a push. just to kind of check for hiders. Other hiding spots, like soldiers will sit here, some soldiers will sit here, some soldiers will sit here. As far as that goes, there's not like too many like crazy hiding spots or anything. But yeah, these would probably be the main ones that you just like have to be checking, you know, because you don't want to be kind of caught behind. Just like clearing stickies, someone has to kind of do the double check, make sure that there's no soldier, you know, lurking behind. Yeah. How are we doing for time? Yeah, I got about like a few
Just
more
hit
minutes.
31 minutes. So. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I feel like I kind of covered most of the things about Bagel. Definitely you'll probably run into a few things maybe I haven't mentioned or some weird things, but let me think. Like as far as off-classing goes, like this isn't a great sniper map just because of like you know, it's a really easy like soldier can get really anywhere like pretty quickly, so sniper kind of playing anywhere is probably better just to have a soldier or a scout in most scenarios, so sniper isn't like hugely coveted. Only time maybe it'd be alright is like if their team's like holding really aggressive here or something, and you're like your flank scout's gonna be like, okay, well the demo keeps peeking this, so I'm just gonna like take a shot or two or try to kill the demo from here and then go back to spawn. If you're getting forward held or something to try to, you know, break the forward hold or make it a lot easier for you guys.
Okay.
As far as forward holding goes, if you're down like anyone, I don't really recommend doing a forward hold. You can maybe do it like if you're down like a flank scout or something, but I would really recommend you have everyone up if you're going to practice it. So
Okay.
definitely your soldiers, you need to have both your soldiers, you need to have your demo, that kind of stuff to do a forward hold. And if you lose any one of those classes, you have to back up immediately. Or else someone isn't watching a door and they're just going to kind of get through and kind of exploit you guys being for so aggressive.
Okay. I think I'm good. I think I've asked what I needed to ask.
Perfect.
You got anything, Ponder?
No.
All right.
Perfect. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck. Maybe I will see if I have time to kind of go over a demo if you guys are struggling somewhat on